What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the latest updates regarding Modern Warfare 2, a small update that just went out, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and make sure you have notifications on to stay up to date with everything going on in Cold War 2, Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, and any other future Call of Duty as well. Now, as a reminder, if you're watching this video before midnight or before Friday begins, you can actually get a free bottle of hot sauce with any order over at killerjerky.com. The link for them is down below in the description, and don't forget, you can use code DYNAMITE to save 15% off any order on their website, and that will of course be a permanent deal moving forward, but try to get that free bottle of hot sauce if you guys can. Now also, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to use the gifting memberships feature over in my live streams. We managed to get like I think 12 or 14 new members in my recent gameplay stream a couple of days ago. We went off, we dropped 6 nukes in that Cold War stream, had a ton of fun hanging out with all you guys out there, doing open lobbies, and luckily the gifting memberships feature does work, but there is a bit of a catch. You have to be a member before you can actually gift memberships, which I believe is different from how Twitch works, because on Twitch, you don't have to be a sub to gift subs. So I guess there's pros and cons to everything, but I'm happy that the feature has rolled out to a bunch of YouTube channels nonetheless. Starting off with a pretty big report from the Ghost of Hope, a bit of a follow-up, I should say, to a report that I believe I briefly mentioned in a previous video, which is that apparently a beta version of Warzone Ranked is supposed to go live in Warzone 1 at some point later this year, and it'll kind of set the foundation for how ranked mode is going to work in Warzone 2 whenever that comes out. But then we got a claim from Doug over at Modern Warzone, who said that apparently, based on what he's heard from maybe some insiders, maybe from the press or Activision themselves, there actually isn't going to be a ranked mode coming to Warzone 1. Now here's the thing, we had some articles written a couple of months ago that a Warzone ranked mode is in development, so we know that a ranked mode is coming at some point, either for Warzone 1 or Warzone 2, and I think the rumor from Ghost of Hope just makes sense. I mean, a lot of things have already been added to Warzone 1 as it is over the last couple of months. There seem to be new features and kind of like a live test or a beta for what we're going to end up seeing in Warzone 2, so I think adding ranked mode to that mix makes a lot of sense. But is this just another leak that the Ghost of Hope got wrong? Did one of his sources get this wrong? It's a bit unclear, but this is exactly why I say do not get too excited over leaks that just sound too good to be true, because you never know. Maybe things were planned at one point to drop ranked in Warzone 1, but they said, you know what, let's just devote some resources to making that happen in Warzone 2 instead. So it doesn't look like it's going to be the case, but maybe we'll get surprised at some point later this summer. You never know. Now, it also can't be a coincidence that a lot of leaks that have been reported about Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2 have been proven wrong quite a few times from different insiders over the last couple of months. Not sure what's going on there. I mean, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're not just clout chasing, but maybe they truly have sources that have outdated information or are planting false information on purpose. Who knows what's happening with these people? But another story I wanted to go over is regarding the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer reveal day, because I made a video a couple of days ago talking about how July 14th was a date that's floating around by different leakers and scoopers out there, and apparently the basis of that leak is that Ralph put out a tweet, which he quickly deleted, talking about how July 14th was going to be something big for Modern Warfare. But like I mentioned in that video, we hadn't heard anything official from Activision, Charlie Intel, not even some bigger leakers out there regarding anything happening this week for MWII marketing. So that's why I'm like, well, unless they just drop it out of nowhere and surprise us, I don't think July 14th is likely. And what do you know, today is July 14th and we heard nothing. And over the past like 2 weeks and a half, we've also heard nothing. It's been very quiet, so I thank you all out there for supporting the videos that I still have put out despite Call of Duty news being pretty dry right now, and despite content also being a bit on the dry side for Vanguard and Warzone, and even Cold War 2. We still have bundles every Friday, but other than that, not much has been going on. Now, I also don't think they're just gonna drop the trailer out of nowhere and just start premiering it on the Call of Duty YouTube channel. I think we'll probably get an announcement on like a Monday or a tweet, something of that sort, and the trailer will then be scheduled for like 2-3 days before it finally goes live for everybody out there. I think Activision is really betting on this multiplayer reveal to bang. I mean, it's their last Call of Duty before Microsoft presumably takes over at some point in 2023, so they want to knock this one out of the park, and they want to make sure they move on from Vanguard as quickly as possible, to the point where I'm like, well, I guess if they want to do that, I wouldn't doubt a early multiplayer reveal as soon as, what, second week of July, but clearly the week is over and nothing has happened. So here's the other thing I'm thinking, right? COD champs are also just around the corner, and we could end up getting something similar to what we got last year during the Cold War COD champs, where we had a sneak peek at Vanguard multiplayer, and obviously COD champs this time around are a bit sooner than last year's, but I feel like whenever the COD champs event happens, that'll be close to the time where they're like, all right, we're gonna drop another sneak peek of multiplayer, or we're gonna announce an alpha, or we're gonna announce something else. But I don't think that'll be the same day they do the multiplayer reveal trailer itself. However, never say never. I mean, it would just be weird if they did that, because they decided decided to reveal MW2 a little bit earlier this year just to have this big gap in between the campaign footage to the multiplayer when COD partners in the press already played multiplayer a couple of weeks ago, so why wait that long to present everything else to the entire world? I just wouldn't get that. But an interesting tweet that we got from Ralph yet again is that the next 2 weeks are going to be exciting, hashtag Modern Warfare 2. So he put this out a good couple of days ago, and I guess that could mean at some point in the next 2 weeks we'll get a multiplayer reveal, unless he's referencing something else that's about to be marketed for the game, or maybe some confirmation of DMZ or Warzone 2. However, I do think it is related to the game's multiplayer. So there you have it. I guess that's some type of hint that the MP reveal is just around the corner. I mean, over the next 2 weeks, you might end up getting, you know, a trailer reveal on like a Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday, somewhere towards the middle of the week. I don't think we'll get one on like a Monday or Friday, but at this point, we just have no idea what the exact date will be. But luckily, it is just around the corner. So something I just wanted to provide for you guys in this video, in case you guys are wondering if we had any new info about the multiplayer trailer. Now, out of left field last night, we then got a really interesting tweet from Alex, which says, and I quote, "I just got sent a 35-minute long gameplay of DMC. Crap looks promising. As for me sharing any content from that footage, it's not happening. My legal team advised me to refrain from sharing anything since we are already having issues with Activision. I'm not trying to get in serious trouble at the moment, but the footage is real and from June 12th. Now, the part about the legal team, which advised him to refrain from sharing any of the footage, doesn't sound legit to me. It just sounds like a troll, and again, Alex has trolled on Twitter quite a bit in the past, but then an image went up earlier today, which I don't really recognize from any game. It could be from Escape from Tarkov for all we know, or some concept footage from MW 2019. I don't exactly know, but it went up a good, I think, 5 hours ago. I kind of posted this video. Not sure where it's from. It could be the DMZ footage he's talking about. However, do keep in mind that some of these leakers and data miners out there do troll a bit on Twitter, so it might not be legitimate, but, and a big but here, if 35 minutes of DMZ gameplay is out there somewhere, I would not be surprised if it spreads somewhere else on the internet at some point this weekend, or even over the next couple of weeks. Maybe Twitter, Reddit, possibly even YouTube, by people out there who don't care about their channels and just want to take that risk. So if it is legitimate, it probably will pop up soon, but, you know, if only he got to see it, I find it hard to believe that only he will have access to this gameplay, and I wouldn't be surprised if this gameplay does surface at some point soon. But I know the reports about DMZ over the last like month and a half have been very strange. We have some insiders and leakers saying, oh, the mode is gonna release in like a beta form this fall. Other people were saying, oh, no, it's coming out free to play in 2023. And then other leakers are saying, no, it's actually a very basic mode that is not as hardcore as Escape from Tarkov, and it is releasing this fall. So we've heard 3 different stories about what the hell this mode is. Now, I originally thought it was gonna be a replacement for Spec Ops, when they ended up announcing that Spec Ops is returning. And the first thing I want to say is, look, as you're seeing in the background gameplay, Spec Ops had some potential. I mean, personally, there are some fantastic missions that are very cinematic-like and very engaging and exciting. But then there's just so many elements of Spec Ops that just weren't cared for. Parts that are broken, stability is all over the place, you get dev errors, you get booted out of matches. I mean, there are so many issues with the game Spec Ops to the point where I'm like, okay, what's going to be different about MW2 Spec Ops? Are they going to put more time into that version? Are they actually going to update it similar to how Treyarch took care and updated Onslaught for Black Ops Cold War? Like, what will be done differently this time in comparison to how they handled Spec Ops in MW 2019? I mean, maybe this time around they won't be too focused on Warzone 2, since Raven's probably leading most of that. But again, I just don't understand what went wrong with Spec Ops when there was so much potential there and they just kind of left it in the dark and moved on. But I'm really hoping that if DMZ isn't really that big of a mode, isn't really too open world or hardcore like some original leakers claimed, that I'm still hoping that at least it gets updates and actually get some care put into it so that it could become more popular. It could be like an Outbreak type mode from Cold War, where it kind of releases in a bit of a bare bones state, but then gets so crazy after a couple of seasons to where you can't even recognize the mode after season 6 because it's so much more content packed than it ever was when it first came out. Now, something that I really didn't have in my bingo card, not just for 2022, but for any time in history, is that Cardi B is promoting Call of Duty. I'm not kidding. So in a recent music video, you could actually see a close-up of her wearing a ghost pendant, which Call of Duty then confirmed was indeed a part of a marketing deal for Modern Warfare 2. I also didn't ever expect to see Cardi B quote tweeting something from Charlie Intel. I'm like, hold on a second, are we in a different timeline right now? That is crazy to think about, and I'm not gonna go over whether or not I agree with partnering with her specifically, but all I'll say is if you go to the community post where they show a picture of this ghost pendant close up on her neck, the response to this collab just wasn't that positive. And I always say community posts are very toxic, they're like Reddit, but at the same time, there were some pretty hot takes in those comments. Some of of which actually makes some sense, but I'm not going to read any of those in this video for obvious reasons. However, I definitely think it was a very strange collab. It reminds me of the Vanguard concert that happened right before the launch of the game. We had a really interesting concert event where they actually played the score from the game itself. A live orchestra played it. We had Courage going through campaign missions. It was an interesting event to kind of build some hype around the game, which at the time didn't really have much hype. All of a sudden, Migos performed, and I'm like, okay, not that I'm against Migos or anything. I mean, I like some of their songs, but that just felt like it was really out of left field and didn't really fit what was trying to be established for Vanguard in terms of that tone, that energy, the music. It was something, again, cool to see maybe in person, but one of those collabs where I'm like, okay, I mean, do they play COD? Are they just trying to have celebs boost some more hype for the game? It was very strange. Now, we also got an update today. The push dagger melee weapon, which apparently was supposed to be live in-game during the start of Season 4, is now out in Vanguard and Warzone. So they also dropped a patch, which they said, and I quote, they reduced the max player count in gun game and removed the throwing knife delay in S&D and control. People out there were then pointing out that the unlocked challenges for the push dagger were also broken and not tracking correctly, in which a hotfix then went out shortly after. Both Sledgehammer and Treyarch pointed out that the push dagger progress should now be tracking for everybody out there trying to unlock this weapon. In multiplayer, you have to get 5 melee kills with a primary weapon in a single match 15 times, and again, you can actually back out of those matches after you do the kills that you need, unlike games like Cold War. But hopefully we get the return of a feature like this in MW2 where you can do the challenge, back out of the game, and not have to finish the entire thing. And then in Zombies, you have to get 100 kills with a melee weapon while shrouded by your Aether Shroud. Definitely not too bad, but as you guys probably already noticed, the push dagger melee weapon was already live in private matches for Vanguard even before Season 4 released. So if you ever wanted to try it or get your hands on it, you're able to do so for a while now, but now it is available in public matches. But if you're also like, wait, what about Season 4 Reloaded? When is that happening? So I want to safely say it could be next week. Could definitely be wrong on that one, but I would also assume that Season 4 Reloaded would be before the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer reveal, just so that nothing really bleeds into each other and everything's happening the same week, so that they can have full focus and spotlight on Vanguard, Warzone, and then the next week could be on Modern Warfare 2, or you never know, they could do the multiplayer reveal trailer next week and then do Season 4 Reloaded the following week. Who knows? But at this point, all we know so far is that we're going to be getting a Terminator Skynet crossover in Vanguard Season 4 Reloaded, right? We're going to have bundles for the T-800, which is Arnold, and the T-1000, which was the main antagonist in Terminator 2, which sounds interesting. I'm not sure if there'll be any actual in-game challenges or any events of sort with Terminator, but we know we're getting bundles, so that of course was already confirmed a couple of weeks ago. We then have a new weapon and map coming to Vanguard, one of which is the Vargo, or a version of it that I think is very similar to the Vargo we have in Cold War. And we're also looking forward to the Rebirth Zombies event, which hopefully is going to be a banger. I'm looking forward to finally seeing some zombies on Rebirth, which is going to help us reminisce a bit and kind of remind us of how zombies did work over on Alcatraz in Blackout. Really excited for that, but as of right now, according to the Battle Pass timer, Season 5 will be the last week of August. That's if it doesn't get delayed, and if it is the same length as Season 4, then I think Season 5 will indeed be the last season of Vanguard and will last a perfect amount of time until the full launch of Modern Warfare 2 on October 28th. Might even bleed past that to the point where Season 1 of Modern Warfare 2 will begin shortly after Season 5 of Vanguard ends. But last and definitely not least, in case you missed my recent video regarding new information about Black Ops Gulf War, the next Call of Duty from Treyarch, coming in 2024, I did mention in that video that a lot of new information about MW2 multiplayer also surfaced alongside a bunch of the other COD 2024 info. Again, all the info was dumped from a data mine that was done on Warzone Mobile. Not sure if the leaks have slowed down. I really haven't seen any tweets out there from the usual suspects who were leaking everything, or they might have finished and went through all the leaks that were possible. Who knows what happened there? Or maybe there's a small chance that things are now being encrypted or being hidden from the people out there that have an early build of Warzone Mobile. Not sure what the deal is there, but in terms of multiplayer modes that will be live in MW2 this fall, we have the modes like Knockouts, Ground War Bomb, not sure if that's like Fire Team, Infected, Demolition, Capture the Flag, Cyber Attack, Headquarters, Crank, thank God, Prisoner Rescue, another new one, Bounty, TDM, Domination, S&D, Free-For-All, and Hardpoint. That's a lot of damn multiplayer modes. Hopefully all of these are available on day one and you don't have half of these that are just saved for Season 1 for whatever reason, but we do know Gunfight is also coming post-launch. I'm looking forward to these modes though. I want to cross my fingers that the multiplayer map design is really well done to the point where no matter how sweaty the game could get deep into the cycle, the multiplayer map design, kind of helps us out and isn't catering to people out there that want to sit in windows, can't put claymores at doors. Let's see how the multiplayer ends up working out. But in terms of kill streaks, we also know about the UAV, the fuel bomb, which is like a predator missile, a smoke airdrop, a thermobaric strike, which is like the napalm strike, a cluster spike, which is like a bouncing Betty on steroids, the counter UAV, and a care package. I'm sure that's not the full list of streaks coming to the game. We're probably gonna get a juggernaut. We're gonna have the nuke streak after what, 25 or 30 kills. So I'm sure the full list will of course be revealed at some point later this summer, but definitely expect a bunch of spam from the press, COD partners who probably already have videos prepared to talk about exactly what they saw during the multiplayer panel when they got flown out a couple of weeks ago. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on latest updates regarding Modern Warfare 2? How are you feeling about the small update that went live in Vanguard earlier today? And also, what are your thoughts on DMZ gameplay possibly being out there? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.